Alright, time for a quick and dirty mining tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and outfit this Asp Explorer to go and grab some minerals and mine and basically get the micro commodities we need for the engineers. But as long as we're out there, we might as well make a few bucks. And I'm sure one of the engineers requires you to mine several hundred tons worth of ore. We're going to do that. First thing we're going to do, head on over to Starport Services and begin outfitting this ship. What we're going to end up putting on is a pair of small mining lasers. These are the only things that will break up one of the asteroids around to bring the gas giant for you to be able to go ahead and collect the parts off of. They're relatively useless in a fight, don't try and use it. They come in two sizes, small and medium. You aren't going to need many more than, at most, 2 small lasers. All it does is break off chunks faster if you have more of them or if you have the medium size. Since we want to be able to continue to defend ourselves, I kept the beam lasers and the missile racks and just only took 2 of my hardpoints and converted them over for these mining lasers. Second thing we're going to go ahead and grab is we're going to swap the fuel scoop here out. And we're going to go and put, let's see, where is it? A refinery in. The bigger the refinery and the higher quality the refinery, the more bins it has. I don't have a size 5 refinery, so we're just going to grab the size 4. What all of this means is the bin count is what matters for us. The bin count is if I'm shooting an asteroid and I blow off a chunk, and that chunk contains uranium and titanium and gold, it's going to separate that out into a bin of uranium, a bin of titanium, a bin of gold, whatever. And then I'm going to get the next chunk. As those chunks progress, eventually it's going to build up to a ton. It's going to empty the bin, make a ton of that mineral, and put it into my cargo. So we're going to grab this. Okay. Now we're going to come on over. We aren't going to need a discovery scanner. So we're going to go and grab a collection limpet controller. Limpet controllers, the bigger they are and the higher rating they are, the more limpets they control. If you look across the top row of circled items, you have power draw, boot time, max active limpets. That is the most limpets that this controller can have in play at any one time. If you've seen some folks with multiple limpets out there at the same time, they either have more than one controller or they have a larger size controller that can control more limpets at the same time. The other important thing that we have here is that limpet lifetime. 720 seconds is 12 minutes. So if we end up coming down here to the lower size, it's got maybe a different size target range, but who cares, we're going to be getting close to an asteroid. It's not like we have to really worry about it too much as long as we're good. But that lifetime, the limpet costs the same amount of money no matter what. We can only carry 1 limpet per ton, so why not get the most life out of it? Pay the additional bucks, these things are cheap. Okay. Now, one of the things that I'm not going to end up taking with me is this, a prospecting limpet. If I had an additional slot or really was working hard on my configuration here, I would take one of these. What you do is you come up to an asteroid and you shoot it with a prospector limpet. and it's going to do a couple of things for you. It's going to tell you what is in the asteroid, what is it made of. It's also going to make sure that when I start shooting it with my mining lasers, that more chunks come off. But in this particular loadout, I will only have one collector limpet to be able to grab all the chunks that come off, and it's going to take longer for me to do. I'm going to go for more of a shotgun approach. I'm going to leave the prospector at home, and I'm going to grab an additional collector limpet controller, so I'm going to be able to have two going at the same time. Here's my cargo capacity. I'm keeping my 6A shield generator, which is a mistake. I really should take this out, put into cargo scoop, or not cargo scoop, put this into cargo, turn one of these into a shield, put these into limpet controllers, but I don't really feel like messing with it right now. This is just an example. The next important thing we need to do is set up our fire groups. So I'm going to put my collector limpet controllers on number 2, my mining lasers on number 1, and that's going to be fine. We're also going to need to actually buy the limpets themselves. So you do that under restock. I don't know why it doesn't have it under here. We would actually restock some of your items. Under restock, we have to purchase the cargo limpets. So, if we purchase 10 limpets, that's going to give me 5 blasts. I'll be able to, because I have 2 going, each one's going to fire off at the same time. At 12 minutes, this is going to give me an hour worth of collection. Because I have A-ranked controllers, each limpet's going to end up lasting a set amount of time. So that's more than enough for what I'm going to do for this example. Okay. And let's go off. I'll show you where we're headed en route in just a moment. But you're going to want to have scoped out a system ahead of time. This is my home system.
Ship detach complete. Follow the greens on your way out.
Landing gear retracted.
Crashes cost. Kill speed.
You are clear to resume own navigation. Stay safe, Commander.
The planet that we're heading to is a double-ringed gas giant. This one here. And what we're looking here at the 2 rings on it. The first one, the one that's closest to the planet, is metal rich, that we're going to attempt to make our way into. We're not going to be going into the icy ring because that's not what we're currently after. If we were after any kind of ice materials, we would make our way there.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Alright. Put all your pips to shields, and we're going to show you why in just a minute. We're not going to go to any of the extraction sites. And think of the extraction sites as a hot spot, like if somebody was mining and they found a vein of ore or something like that. It's just going to invite trouble. I'm going to slow down for a sec here. What we're aiming for is one of the areas that is not an extraction site. The extraction sites do have better ore than what we're going after, but any place in the ring is perfect. So we're actually going to go full steam right into that metallic ring. No need for us to slow down, drop out of super cruise, anything like that. This is why we have full power to our shields. We're just going to go and crash right on into it. And I'm doing it on a lit side. And there's a reason for that. Because I want to be able to see what the heck it is I'm doing. And slow down. No, I don't think so. And we'll crash right into
Hull
super
integrity
cruise.
compromised.
And because I kept full power to my shields, not really any kind of damage. And we're not mass locked. Using the planet itself as a point of reference, start flying in that direction. And give yourself 30 seconds, a minute. Other ships will spawn in, but they spawn in at the point where you entered. So because we entered in, flying in a direction, they entered here, basically spawn in behind us. If we are far enough away, we will be out of sensor range. They'll never find us, they won't bother with us, and it's not really going to end up being too much of a problem. The beam goes good. That's it. Notice things are starting to spawn. They're right on the outside of my sensor range, and I have 6A sensors here. That's a problem. We need to get further out. Because I do not want anybody nearby. So just keep going.
Power plant capacity exceeded.
My end is nigh. Okay. I'm gonna slow down. I'm going to turn some pieces off. For instance, right now, we're going to turn our beam lasers off. So we don't need them. Turn them back on later. Okay. As I go flying down in here, you'll notice that all of a sudden an asteroid will appear on the radar. And drop off. I gotta fly slower. Those are the asteroids that are spawning that have stuff in them that I can go ahead and mine. Looks like this one right in front of us is a good prospect. So we'll do that, we'll get close, we're in range of the mining lasers, just stop, put all your power into your weapons. These lasers will fire forever, and if you have all your power in your weapon module, you aren't going to heat up. Notice pieces are starting to break off. We got some tin, we got some gold, we got some other stuff.
Programming limpet drone. Programming limpet drone.
Open your cargo scoop.
Cargo scoop deployed.
And all I'm doing when I'm watching over here is I'm making sure that as I'm firing, more pieces are falling off that asteroid. As soon as it stops, gives up the ghost, I just wait for the collection limpets to grab the rest of it, and that's it. And over here, in my inventory, under my refinery, you can see exactly what I got. It doesn't look like anything else is really coming off, so I can just stop firing and let the collectors do their job. Sit back, relax, and sip on your coffee until they go ahead and fill everything up. Move on to the next asteroid. We already know is over here to the left. Right. Sorry. That's it. That it? Refinery full. Let's see. It's without range. No range. I'm gonna go and just mine the rest of these up. That's it. That's all there is to it. Good luck.